Welcome, I am Rail Zeev and your host for Keep Traveling Your African Vacation, the only podcast which brings you insightful information in the African tourism industry by real tourism professionals. Today is our 16th episode and I have the pleasure of introducing Nathalie Van Pee, who's the director of the Nile Safari Lodge in Uganda. Nathalie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be part of your show. It's a pleasure to be here and to speak more about what we do here in Uganda at Nile Safari Lodge.
Okay, so let's start off with this, Nathalie. Tell me where geographically you are situated.
Located in the northwest of Uganda. So from the capital, from Kampala, it is a 6-hour drive or a 1-hour flight. We are located on the shores of the River Nile, the longest river in the world.
Tell me a little bit more about the property, the size of the property, and what you offer potential clients.
Yes, so we are located on 32 acres on the shores of the river bank. We have 8 rooms. These are exclusive, luxurious bandas. What we offer is an escape to the ordinary.
So you're offering safari packages, spa treatments. Give me a little bit more information.
So what we offer is the safari. So the safari is about 10 minutes from the lodge. We can do a boat safari. You can do a car safari. You can go visit the Murchison Falls, which are very powerful waterfalls. You can visit them from the top or from the bottom. You can go for fishing. We have spa treatments at the lodge. We have some nature walks and some community walks. So there's a lot you can do. And of course, near us, we have the Budongo Forest where you can see chimpanzees.
Okay, and how far is that from the lodge itself?
40 minutes drive.
Okay, I just want to go back a little bit and just recall how best international guests could get to you. So people can either fly into Entebbe or Kampala, correct?
Entebbe is our international airport. So every flight, if it's from the US or the UK, depending on all the big airlines, land in Entebbe. From Entebbe, you can take the car or you can fly to us to the nearby airstrip, or you can take the helicopter and land on site.
Okay, let's say we choose to drive. Would you offer that kind of transfer?
Yes, of course. It can be part of the package. Every guest is different. Everyone has different itineraries. So we always give them all the options available. The drive is a very comfortable drive, full on tarmac. The road is brand new. And it's also a beautiful road.
Okay, you said that's going to be about 5 to 6 hours. Is that right?
Yes.
What sort of kilometers or miles are you talking about?
We're talking about 200 kilometers.
Okay, so for 200 kilometers to take about 5 hours, that seems a little bit slow. What's the issue there?
When you get to the park, there is a speed limit. There is a speed limit of 40 kilometers. So you have to reduce the speed.
Otherwise, what guests can do is possibly, as you say, fly into the airstrip. You're obviously going to organize a charter flight.
No, these are scheduled flights.
So what is the airport that we're referring to as far as the scheduled flight from Entebbe?
So there's 2 airports. One is Pakuba, that is in the national. That one is really cool because when the guests arrive, they can see a few animals already on their way back to the lodge. That one is 20 minutes drive from the lodge, and then that one is 10 minutes away from the lodge.
Okay, so really convenient for somebody that wants to do that commercial flight, right? And those scheduled commercial flights are operated, I'm assuming, by Uganda Airlines or other small domestic airlines?
Yes, small domestic airlines such as Airlink or KE.
Okay. Tell me something a little bit about the staff that you include working at the lodge. Are these all locals?
Yes, 80% of our staff, our team, is from the local community, the local village. So we do a lot of training at the lodge. Yeah, it's a part of Uganda where people from there are hardworking and they know the place so well. So we never thought it was important for us to bring any outside help. Of course, we do a lot of training and we learn a lot from the experience, but otherwise, most of our staff is from the local community.
That's great. Tell me about your move towards sustainability, possibly recycling. Are you using the country's main power source or do you generate your own with solar?
We have one solar farm, so we operate fully on solar. Our water is also taken from the River Nile and it's UV treated. Our swimming pool is salt-based. We're not connected to the grid at all, so all our power, fridges, everything is based on the solar system that we have. which we knew at the time of investment that we wanted to have a constant power flow and we were not going to wait. So we really invested in the solar to make sure we can have the full operations of the lodge running on solar. But of course, for washing machines and others, we use the generator.
Okay. I want to dive in a little bit more to the activities that you guys offer. You can go visit the chimps. Tell me a little bit about that and tell me about the fishing opportunities that you offer too.
The chimpanzees in the Budongo forest, that's the biggest mahogany forest in Uganda. Compared to, everyone knows about Kibale, which also have chimps. Budongo has been less marketed, so not a lot of people go there. So when you go there, you're really one-on-one with the chimpanzees, which is very nice. So we're always pushing to bring awareness about these chimpanzees because they're beautiful and the forest as well. Then, of course, for the fishing, most of the people that come fishing, they're interested in the Nile perch. A Nile perch can go up to 120 kilograms, so that's quite impressive. It's a national park, so it's catch and release, but there's a few fishing competition that happen, and some clients only come for fishing because it's quite a paradise.
It sounds very exciting, and I'm a very enthusiastic fisherman, so you might be seeing me at your lodge sometime soon. I'm assuming all those activities are included in your package that you advertise to clients?
Yes, of course. We have the accommodation rate and the activity rate because we can't make a package because everyone has their different wants. Some people will come just for the chimpanzees, others will come just for safari, others just to relax. We always cater to our clients' needs and what they're looking for.
Okay. You've mentioned to me before that you took over the lodge a few years ago. Can you give me a little bit of information about your history? You said it was you and your sister that took over the lodge. Give me a little bit of a rundown as to how you've come to be a direct at Nile Safari Lodge.
We've grown up in Uganda. It has always been one of our projects to develop something here with the different trips, the opportunities we had to travel. We were always talking about Uganda and not a lot of people knew where it was or what was. And so the idea of creating Safari Lodge was really to promote Uganda and to show the beauty of the country. So now Safari Lodge is a family-owned property, which was taken over in 2017. It was one of our favorite places where we used to camp. So the idea was to start offering something in the niche market where no one else was before. And the best way to do it, to show the full beauty of Uganda, was to have the most beautiful lodge. That's why, together with my sisters and brothers, we decided to make sure that now Safari Lodge will put Uganda on the world map.
And we're going to push that on the podcast, so don't worry about that. Tell me a little bit of a funny story about yourself, Nathalie. You've obviously been in the game since 2017, so coming up on 8-9 years. You must have had a funny experience amongst either the chimps or maybe you caught the biggest fish in a fishing tournament that you weren't supposed to be in. But I'm sure you must have had a fun experience that you might want to share with the podcast listeners.
When you're at the lodge, because we're on the shores of the River Nile, in the evenings, the hippos, they come to graze the fresh grass. And so you always have to be accompanied by security. And like I say, after a few years, you think you know the place and you feel like, okay, it's not even 200 meters, I can walk there. So we would with my sister and heading back to the room, walking at ease. And at one point, she turns around, she loses her shoe, and it was a hippo. We were face to face with a hippo. And of course, the hippo, okay, it's not so fast, but it's a very dangerous animal. As soon as the hippo is scared, the first thing he will do is to kill. So it was just there with the amount of fear you have, you try to run, but actually what happened is like both of us slid. And today we're laughing about it, but it could have ended up in a different way.
You're right. They are quite dangerous, actually. Nathalie, coming to the end of our show, I know that we've spoken about a prize giveaway. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about what you're giving away?
Yeah. So the giveaway for this time for Nile Safari Lodge is a 2-night complimentary in an exclusive banda with a game drive.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming on the show. And thank you for the prize. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of listeners coming through. And hopefully we can get some international guests coming your way.
Perfect. We welcome everyone.
Great, Nathalie. That sounds super exciting. And thank you again. Today I was chatting with Nathalie Van Pee, who is a director at the Nile Safari Lodge in Uganda. Do not forget that prize giveaway of a 2-night stay at Nile Safari Lodge. All the details can be found in the show notes of this episode or head over to www.wildsunsets.travel/podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please rate the show on Apple Podcasts or drop me an email. Tune in again next week when we will be chatting to another great guest in the African tourism industry. My name is Rael Zeev, and consider this. A few years from now, you will not remember how much it cost you, but you will still remember the memories you made. Keep traveling.